I like to say I'm glad to be here, but why start with an untruth? Being here is like reliving my misspent youth. Face leaning on my hand like a fed up kid. Sat here in my robes with one closed eyelid. Every day and twice on Sundays, probable cause from DNA. Your time in advance conspiracy theory is so crazy it's making me weary. They found some guy did reverse engineering. I've aged more than a year just in this hearing. We can all go home if we go for a plea. Come on, let's go, the drinks are on me. Every day and twice on Sundays, probable cause from DNA. Your time in advance conspiracy theory is so crazy it's making me weary. None of this case makes sense, so I shoot down the defense. My impartiality is compromised. Is this gonna be televised? Every day and twice on Sundays, probable cause from DNA. Your time in advance conspiracy theory is so crazy it's making me weary. Making me weary. Making me weary. It's making me weary.
Close the night out right, panel at the table in that half-dead light. Miss Robin in the middle, calling every shot, directing and producing, till the story runs hot. 1-1 from the city, badge heavy on his chest, towing that law like a wicked chain, spitting facts, no rest. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right, tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite. JJ in the corner, state of the deep in his head. Which lies to toss and which ones to keep instead? They go from the cafe, says forget about it, leans back, spins his thoughts like a blade cutting holes in the track. Lee at the front, head advocate, steady stare, every word like a warning, every silence a dare. All of them leaning in, clock crawling, eyes bright, every secret feels louder than the buzzing of the night. Crimes after dark, we close the night out right, tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel, we watch the threads ignite. You can bury it in paper, you can lock it in a file, but the truth bleeds through, drip by drip, tile by tile. We're dragging it to daylight, name by name, line by line. If you wrote after dark, we close the night out right. Tear through the lies till the wrong sounds like a fight. All of the answers buried so deep out of sight. We watch the threads unravel. We watch the threads ignite.
All right, everybody, welcome to A Crimes After Dark again on a, what the hell is this, like a Tuesday? This is a Tuesday. I know that because we've got JJ backstage on Tuesdays as usual, so it's good to see JJ backstage. Unfortunately, man, I'd give my right arm to have a full panel again. Now we lose 1-1 for the evening, but we'll get it all straightened out later on in the week, probably Thursday or Friday. We'll have the whole crew, hopefully here, cross our fingers. Either way, our panel is designed to be not interchangeable, because that makes it sound like everybody's replaceable, but to allow more than one person to be here and somebody to get the night off. We have Dago from True Crime Cafe backstage, Logan, Bronx Tales, True Crime. We've got Robin, of course, not 1-1, so we won't have a monologue. We're just going to talk a little bit more freely before. We'll take up a little bit more time saying hello, maybe. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes and play it by ear. All right, so let's bring the panel up in the order they are backstage with no need to wait and save 1-1 for last. What's up, Dago?
Whoa.
Good to see you.
You too. How are you? Forget about it. I have
Good.
to do that whoa thing now because I see it in the chat now. So I feel like
It's becoming
part of
your
my thing. Yeah.
It's a signature move. It's a signature move.
Whoa. So there you go. I did it.
I like it.
I'll Pokey. I think it's Pokey that likes it. So I'll do it. I'll always do it for her. Anyway. Good to see you, sir. Hope you had a great day today.
Yeah. Any you want to give us any updates on your live shows or anything you did today or exciting stuff?
I had a very offhanded show I wasn't expecting. It was a great one. I was doing an open discussion, let's catch up on true crime type show, and I was graced with Miss Jody from Defense, the Defense Breasts.
Yep, you can say that again.
Happened there, but she popped up there. Eddie was up there today. He usually joins me. She popped up there. We discussed a little Idaho 4 stuff. Eddie made some great points, as he always does, and then Jody popped up, and we were discussing a little bit about Letcher County. And I was catching up some people that I know are newer in my community that probably don't know it at all. And then luckily as it was, just as I said something about that, Miss Taya Adams jumped up on. She clicked our link and jumped up and joined us. So that was very interesting and an awesome addition to the show.
And you said your audience hadn't really been super exposed to that story, right? Especially like Taya's story, and
they knew her story of, like, when she interviewed with Brian Enton. Yeah. They knew that. Most of my community knew that, and they knew the basics of it, the shooting and why and blah blah blah, all that stuff. But they didn't know a lot of the background stuff, and I have quite a few new people in my community too that didn't seem to know a lot about it and all the background details. So it was very helpful to bring them into the picture of it. And hold on a minute, is that mine? It is. Thank you, Bronx, very much. Bronx Tales True Crime for that super duper
super duper shaker.
Yes, so thank you, dear. And so it turned out to be a really amazing show. There was a lot of conversation about, how this stuff goes down and how it is just been going on forever and ever and ever, and there's nothing being done about it, how horrible it is, of course. What they do to you, the grooming, the children being taken away, this, that, and all that wild stuff.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But
that county is a mess for sure.
And she even said that it's all the surrounding counties as well, Pike County and all them other ones that are out there that are probably truly involved as well. So the whole
Appalachia area seems to be rife with. I've been told stay away from the Appalachia area. So
that's why I think we were worried about you when you headed in that direction at one point.
And maybe I should have been more worried for myself. But you know what? There's a part. Listen to this. There's a part, right? When you realize you might be putting your life in danger, that you're actually really living. Like that's the moment you're like, I'm living every fucking minute because I could get smoked any moment now. And that there's a part of that that makes you kind of feel alive for at least along until you're not alive anymore. But
Absolutely,
anyway.
yeah. I mean,
So
it's crazy, and like she was stating, like Taya herself said that she's been doing her own little investigation, looking into things, and as we have spoken about before, because of your research and stuff you've been involved in with that case, that like there's a lot of people that have lost their lives over this entire thing
yeah,
in some aspect, and
yeah,
Kaya herself believes that she thinks that there's could be up to at minimum maybe 80 different people possibly
yes,
that are missing or
yeah.
unalived or whatever you want to call it, murdered. I don't say unalived. Why did I say that?
Ah,
Anyway,
thank you, thank you.
anyway,
Yeah,
and that's a high number, you guys, of people.
yeah.
These are human beings. These aren't dogs or cats or an ant or a spider that you step on. These are people. 80
Before it goes
people.
before it goes away, Logan, thank you as well. I need to get in there and throw love around as well. I
Yes, me
don't
too.
I don't spread my love around like I should. Like I should, kind
Yeah,
of
I'll
spread it
probably be
around.
doing that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
80.
So
High number, Kenny. 80 people. That's 80
right.
human beings.
And you can't you can't prove they're all mysterious murders, but when you look into them, you're like, you know what? Even
Yeah.
if half of the 80 turned out to be actual mysterious murders, that's a problem.
Quarter. Yeah,
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
And most
Yeah.
of the answers to these things, there's either nothing, they're cold
Yeah.
cases, or it's drug overdoses or suicides. Come on.
Right. And that's their fallback. It's, oh, well, they're a drug addict. Of course they overdose.
Right.
And most people buy it. All right, let's get Logan up on screen. Hopefully she's ready and get your finger out of your nose. Okay, you're good. All right, here we go. It's just kidding. I'm just kidding. I know.
Why can't I pick my nose on screen?
I mean,
You
you
have
can.
to show it.
You
You have to
can.
show it if you're gonna pick it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't be shy.
That's
How are
it.
you today?
Me shy? Are you crazy?
That's true. You're
I'm
not
great.
terribly shy.
I'm not
Yeah?
shy at all.
Yeah. Well, we dig that
I know.
about you.
I know.
And you're a moth slayer and all that shit as well. So
I have some hidden talents you guys don't know about yet.
I imagine. I'm envious, by the way, and this is going to be a weird comment, but I'm envious, by the way, of you having long hair because I've seen you now in like 4 or 5 different hairstyles, and I'm like, I can't do anything with my fucking hair. I got short hair. How come when women get that long hair? You gotta put it up. You gotta curl it. You gotta fucking do a kink.
She changes her look like every other show. You know what I noticed that.
I don't though. And what's funny is I was talking to my mom the other day and I was like, I'm so tired of my hair because I never get to change it up for YouTube because it, sometimes it's in my face. So I usually just do it the same way for YouTube and it drives me nuts because I usually try and do my hair different every day, but I really can't when I'm on YouTube
Every
because I don't want
day?
it getting in my face.
But you
Yeah,
look
but-
different every day you come in here, though.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Lee,
I'm gonna stay the hell out. She's got hidden tricks.
What?
She's got hidden tricks.
know.
I don't know.
No,
So
I
tell
went
us-
to
Next-
hair
yeah,
school,
okay,
so
I-
I
you
like
might-
to braid and do all sorts of stuff.
that's what I'm saying.
I-
We see different looks on
Right.
you every time.
I mean, the reason I brought it up is because something looks a little different about her tonight.
I wore a
wasn't sure
headband
what-
today, which I never
That's what it
do,
is.
but-
See, you just see hair accessories. I can't do hair accessories.
It's her makeup
Anyway.
too. Her makeup's different today too.
Hair accessories are fun.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
see what-
yeah. That's
Next
it.
thing
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
put
see-
some little baby clips in my hair. I'm gonna do that maybe sometime just to kind
There
of
you go.
say that I did. All right.
There
Enough
you
of the hair thing. What did you do today? Did you do any live or?
Here we go.
No, I did not do a live because our super awesome live is tomorrow. So make sure everybody tune in tomorrow at 5:30. We're gonna have a super duper decorated expert on our channel
Super duper.
tomorrow. Super duper.
A big secret reveal? Is it secret?
He's
not
just
really
got
a
super
secret.
duper credentials. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just his
Very cool.
resume is thickums.
Yes.
Nice.
Thickums.
But,
That's a
so
new one. I
today-
like that.
Thickums. I worked all day, but I got to put together a nice little package of questions for him that I included, pictures, and I made it really, really nice and easy to
Nice.
read. Yeah, so that was fun. I got to do that today. So we'll see
Awesome.
him tomorrow, though.
That is
Very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
Very cool. What time is that going to go off tomorrow?
It'll be 5:30 Central.
Okay. Very cool.
Sweet.
Great to hear it. Anything else before we bring up Robin?
No.
Wobbin.
All right, then to the corner with you.
Wobbin bobbin.
Robin, how's it going?
All righty. How's everybody?
Good.
Hello.
Great.
Hello.
Hello, Mom. How are you tonight?
I'm doing fine, love. How about yourself?
I'm Bullock. Wonderful. I just had two completely
I'm
different.
glad
So
to hear it.
the other thing I'm jealous about on top of hair is people that can do accents, because I can't fucking do accents either. But
Try it.
What do you
Do it now.
mean?
Try
You
it.
oh
can't do
no,
an
no,
accent like this,
it's
son?
embarrassing if I even try to do
You
an
all
accent.
for
Come on
practice.
now.
You all for
I can-
practice.
It's not that hard, son. You
I probably
can't
could
get
do-
an accent like this? Come on.
Right now, just F off and just tell me how your day was.
He said,
It
"Fuck
was
off."
good.
Good.
Got shit done around the house and
Yeah.
whatever. So, you know. But
And,
no,
and
it
I
was
can't
good.
ask
It
you
was
how your
good.
live was because you didn't have a live today. I know that. Any other
Oh, I'm
highlights?
alive every day. You just
Great.
don't get to see what I do every day.
Well,
She
it's
has
good
her
to
own
have you on the
personal
show.
lives.
Yeah, right. And I can't even talk about half the stuff I do, so you don't get to know. You know?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know,
Right?
if
You're
you
like,
had
you're like,
cameras
I
in
could
my
tell
house,
you, but
you know,
yeah.
the way I would chase the dog around when he's ripping up my
Right.
pay stub and,
Or
you
when you
know,
have when you have your OnlyFans account going, people don't want to
yeah,
necessarily see the
yeah,
raw show. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Okay. That's good. Well, let's get JJ up on stage with us as well. JJ, State of the Deep, how you doing?
I'm good. How's everybody doing?
Living
Hello.
the dream.
Alrighty. How are you,
Hello.
son?
I'm doing all right. Hello to the denizens, the meatballs, the believers, and the mods. Yeah, no big excitement for me. I'm still under the weather, so I've been feeling like crap the last few days. So I'm just trying to
Oh,
get done what I got to get done.
I
That's
want to
about it.
understand. I got a side tangent. Where does the phrase under the weather come from? Aren't technically everyone under the weather? I mean, the weather's above us. We're all down below the weather. Isn't everyone under the weather? Where did the under the weather come from?
I don't know, but if I had to guess, I
Yeah.
would say weather is being used as not to talk about weather generally, but when the weather's bad. Because some
Yeah.
people say there's some weather coming in, which
Yeah.
usually means, if you hear it, if you live in the mountains, there's a storm coming in. There's some weather moving in. That's a common statement you hear in the mountains.
You know,
So
I
maybe
asked
I'm
that,
under the weather, you know.
or it could be because people think you get cold when the weather turns bad. Or what? Oh, Robin's got an answer. What do you got?
Wheels says that it's from the 1700s. It was a sailing term
Oh, okay. So,
for when the weather got bad, you were under the weather, or
ah,
specifically under the weather bow, or or when the sailors felt sick on the ship. So that's where the whole sickness part of it comes. So it's kind of a twofold thing. So there you go.
see, you learn something new every day. Thank you very much. You can all go home now. You've been educated.
So
It's good.
my question to you now, after that all came out, is what is going on in your mind that you even asked that question? Is it like cartoons up there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
No, look,
that's
one
what I
time-
wondered.
One time I asked the question, why does everybody say happy as a clam? Like why are fucking clams happy? And I found out it was super interesting. Like at high, it's the whole phrase is happy as a clam at high tide, because
Sure.
at high tide they're all safe underwater, but then the tide rolls out, the clams were exposed on the beach, and now they're easy picking and they're dying, right? And I didn't know, so I was like, wow, I thought clams were just fucking really happy sea animals or something. I was like, oh, okay, why are clams so fucking happy? But it's a happy as a clam at high tide. And then I thought that educational moment was enriching my life, so I thought maybe we'd do that.
So
Thank
then
you, Dago. Thank you so
Cartoons.
much.
cartoons. Yeah, I got you, buddy.
It's cartoons. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's pretty
Yeah.
much cartoons. Pretty
I get
much.
I get it.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Hey, have you guys talked about the JLR situation at all?
Yes, we did a little bit. Do you want to talk about it? We did talk about it a little bit.
Well, I mean, I know about what happened, and it's interesting because when the case first happened, the Idaho 4 case, when it was a lot of content creators were covering it early on, and he was boots on the ground early on, right? That was my only exposure to him. I had never
Yeah.
followed him. I never knew who he was, never watched a single one of his videos. But then as things in the case progressed, I started to see the way that he was handling things and the narrative pushing that he was doing. So I just got a bad taste in my mouth about him because it almost seemed like he got co-opted.
Yeah.
And he was just riding the wave of whatever the mainstream was pushing, and he was utilizing that, just to get the mainstream sort of people on his side or following him.
You saw the picture of him with Steve and Christy Gonsalves, right?
Yeah, I did. I just looked at it a minute ago. I've seen it several times, but it popped up on Reddit.
What's special about I haven't seen it. What's special about it?
I think it just says something. That's all.
It's him with his goofy little media T-shirt on, and he's between the two of them.
And are they posing with him like they like his content? Oh yeah, that says something.
They're standing in there together when he went there, and that to me it kind of says, hey, it's weird because they did that early on and then poof, nothing else with him. So,
and that progression that I saw is what really turned me off with him, and I never watched any of his videos after that. And then, I had known that he had done time. I knew that. I knew the rumors about him. I knew things had popped up simply by following things in message boards and whatnot. But then this shit comes around, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
There's a lot more things out there. If you just dig, you can find some really, really old, disgusting videos he's done. I have several of them. I have never subbed to him and never thought he was a decent person and never understood why people followed him. He's got, it's on the internet. Look up JLR and just flip through
the Sandy Hook video was the one I remember.
That's one of the most disgusting is the Sandy Hook thing. That blew my mind. And then going around making fun of the victims there, so on and so forth. It's just some of the shit that he does. It's unhuman. I'll just put it that way. Like there's no compassion nor soul there when you do some of the stuff that he's done. She's absolutely right with his shit.
Well, I'll tell you what, my impressions of him early on, when I was watching his boots on the ground content, the ideas that popped into my head were something, and this is before I knew anything about him. Something is off with this guy. He has a disconnect. There's like a detachment.
Yeah.
And what made me think that is that he's walking like late at night, like right up to people's doors. He's like filming, there was just a major crime in this little college town, and he's just walking up to people's houses. He's just like talking to people on the camera late at night. Like I was like, there's a disconnect with this guy. Like he's disconnected from what he's doing. And whenever I see that type of shit with people, a red flag goes up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. He definitely does not have a ground wire connected somewhere. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
There's something just looking at the way he reacts with people and interacts with people. There's definitely not a normal insight there. I'll just say
and
that.
It's funny you mention it too, because when I first started, again, this is long before YouTube, but I started blogging, and that's when I ran into JLR online for the first time. I was investigating the Aurora, Colorado shootings and the Sandy Hook shootings that happened all within the same. There was actually another shooting at the Sikh temple in Wisconsin. So there's 3 major shootings in the same year. And I was researching those, and there was a part of me that some of the people that were in the theater the night that got shot up, they were accessible and available. I could find them online, and I wanted to kind of reach out and ask them questions. And I'm like, I'm not going to be the guy to harass people that were in a horrific event. And then while I sit there not doing it, other people are doing it and getting huge sound bites and clips and getting famous. And I'm like, but I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that like pisses off 40 people so I can hope to get one little quick sound bite that I can look cool. Like, hey, I talked to this victim and they pissed off their entire family, but I got it on camera.
He even went as far as, go ahead.
Magnolia said that he actually loves when bad things happen, like mass shootings and things like that, so he can be there. Not that he is like this happened, but we're going to report on it, but it sucked. No, he loves when bad
Yeah,
things
I like the
happen.
rest of us
That's
always
mainstream
say
media. Mainstream media is, I
Yeah,
feel, mainstream media
paparazzi.
is the same way they love tragedies because it gives them
He-
something to talk
Yeah.
about and go live with. But
he even went as far, you guys, as to claim to be the shooter's cousin, uncle, nephew, brother, uncle. That's
Uncle.
it. Thank you.
Adam
Um,
Lanza.
Adam Lanza's uncle. I mean, what kind of a mental space are you in to go that far? Like when the rest of us are out here saying, I hope that this doesn't happen anytime soon, but if it does, we'll be covering it. He hopes that it happens so that he has something to do. The dude's a mess. So
yeah,
and I feel like shitty because I have said in the past, he's really doing good coverage on this, so we got to give credit where credit's due. I've never cared for him as a person, but
yeah.
you try to do that, and I regret all that at this point, knowing
Well, remember
how
when he
dark
was
he actually is.
when he was streaming Guthrie just recently, everybody
Yeah.
on the internet
Yes.
felt like was tuned into his show. The whole fucking our shows were dead because everybody was
Yes.
watching JLR. He's live on the ground at fucking Guthrie's house and he's ordering Uber. Look, that
Yes.
motherfucker's ordering Uber at her house. So they eat it up. People eat that shit up.
I
Yeah.
don't know how he's still. Well, I do know how he's still out here, but I mean, at some point, it's going to have to be, like I've said before, enough is enough. You should only be able to get away with this kind of stuff for so long before it comes out. You know what I mean? And I'm sure there's other things that if he's done the things he's done, what else has he done? Is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and to me, when somebody has that disconnect, like when DA and I went to Moscow, I was pretty clear. Like, I don't want to like stir shit up. I don't want to be like intrusive, and I had no interest, me personally, in like walking around or like whatever, interviewing people or anything like that, because I don't want to stir shit up. Like,
Right.
I have no interest in that. I just
Yeah.
wanted to be there, see the place that I've seen a million times in videos and whatnot.
Yeah.
We went everywhere. We drove a lot.
Now I had. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. I just.
Well, yeah.
I told you, I'm like, I don't really feel comfortable like digging into shit while we're here, like to annoy people because they're probably exhausted from it.
He only lost 7,000 subscribers over this.
Yeah,
That's
I told you he's not
sickening.
going to lose much. Yeah, he's not going to lose much at
That's
all. In
sickening
fact,
to
he'll
me. I'm
probably
sorry.
grow in the long term. In the long term, he'll probably grow off of it.
Because
Thank
people
you,
like
Bianca.
drama.
Thank
They
you
do.
so much, Bianca, for the $5. And just in case anybody hasn't seen it, there's also a video out there of him pretending to give fellatio to a pop bottle saying, I wish this was Hitler because I love
Yeah.
Hitler so much and this is what I do to him. And then he hailed Hitler.
Yeah,
Really?
dude,
Well,
yes.
well, he
yes.
likes shock value, but what's the? I mean, how does the people eat that up? People eat that up. Anyways, I don't know.
Awful.
Mental disconnect. JJ hit it on the head. Truly not all there. Like I said, it makes you wonder what else has gone on that nobody knows about. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I didn't know he got new teeth.
But he's got an enormous channel. Sometimes it's not how you use it; it's the size of your channel that matters.
I guess you need to.
Look, I was going to say earlier.
Here we go.
Here we go. It's
Yep.
oh shit. What I was going to say earlier is I sometimes when I'm going to like Kentucky or Idaho or whatever, I'll say, hey, I'm going to be in town. And if anybody wants to meet with me and tell their story, reach for, and I'll do that all day long. Like if somebody, well, I'll be cautious. I'm not going to go get lured to my death somewhere. But the point being is that that's what I like to do is I like to put the invite out there. And if you're willing to talk to me, let me know. I'm not going to bang on your door and interrupt your dinner and be like, hey, can you talk to me? Like, no, but if you tell me, hey, I want to see you, and you got some information, I'm probably coming to see you. But that's how I prefer to do it. But we haven't got there yet where a lot of people do that. I have had a few. I have gone to a few people and talked to them after they said they were willing to talk. So,
well, I'll say this much.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
donated gift memberships, Cynthia. We really appreciate that. And welcome to all the new members.
Yeah, I just
Awesome.
realized I have to be looking at a certain screen to see who got the memberships. I have to be watching my own live. So, which
Right.
is weird.
Yeah, what I won't be using anything he puts out from this point forward because seeing this and knowing that this is a reality, he don't deserve any extra. He has more than enough. So, oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say too, Sausage. That's what I was trying to explain. I just couldn't think of it. She said, "I think the disconnect is actually pathological to where if he uh underwent a psych eval, he would be diagnosable." I fully, truly agree with that because of things I've watched him do that I can't. I question like, what are you doing there, bud? It's just
Yeah.
something's not right at all. So
So, I think it was Logan actually who brought it up. Somebody became a new
yeah,
member. Whose channel? Looks like one of your channels got the
Yeah,
new membership.
thank you,
Dylan.
Bill Death Investigates, for joining our Turtle Club over here.
Oh yeah,
We
Dylan, who was
appreciate
on our
you.
show the other night, right?
Yeah, it's awesome stuff, Dylan. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, it was good. It was good stuff being on the show last night. I love that. By the way, let's remind you,
Dylan.
we have room for a guest if a guest wants to come on and join us tonight. So let's put the link out there in the chat and see if somebody wants to raise it up and come up. Come on up. Join us on stage. We don't bite. Sometimes
We don't.
But
Logan
anyways,
does.
Logan, I think, was the one that brought up the JLR thing for the first time on our channel. So
do you guys? I have not dug into it beyond just what, like, Jules talked about it and a few different people, and it popped up on message boards, but I didn't dig into it because nothing surprises me.
Logan did
about people. Yeah, I mean, what do you all? How strong is the evidence? I mean, is it pretty conclusive?
I think
her nose was broken.
Yeah.
Visibly broken.
You could see the like he didn't just and what pisses me off is he's a little wiry. I'm not going to go there. Anyway, I have a huge issue with men hitting women. End of story. So when I saw her black eye and some of the other things, it just sent me into a complete total mental rage. So and it just like, yeah, I hope to God that this goes forward and that the charges stick and he goes to trial and is convicted for it because it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm sorry.
Was she a content creator?
Yeah.
That's what I asked too, but yeah.
Well,
yeah, just because I wasn't familiar with who she was. I haven't followed him.
She has a
years.
channel, and I think she tried to, but I think he held her back from doing her own thing just so that she could do for him, is my opinion.
I never condone abuse in any way, shape, or form, but to be just say something on the contrary, in a sense, she did accuse a politician of raping her when she was 15 and impregnating her, and she went to the New York Post to have them run the story, and they would not run the story because it came out that she was lying. So
wow. So
yeah, I heard that.
That's tough. That's tough because if you shoot your credibility, then when something does happen, like somebody broke her nose, and I was gonna say you can't break your own nose, but yeah, you can. Actually, you can break your own nose.
I know that she doesn't have a great past, but to me, I still believe that he did put his hands on her. I don't care what the excuse is. You don't do it. So,
but I only asked just because I didn't look into it, and we've all seen many, many examples of false claims being made about stuff, and again, I know nothing about the case, but if someone is, a little wacky and they're really, really attention seeking, you don't know what lengths, or money seeking, whatever. You don't know what lengths they will go to.
Yeah.
And we've all seen that. So I only ask just because I don't know the details of it.
Well,
there's a difference between ruining somebody's reputation with words and ruining somebody's face with your hand.
Yeah.
Are there any witnesses or anything like that?
I don't remember in the
document said she had a witness list of a couple people, I think. So,
yeah, I apologize. I didn't get any of the details on it. It just seemed like,
Yeah, they're like I said, they're both. They were attracted to each other for reasons. I'm not saying either one are perfect, but you do not. I don't care what the problem is or the reason is. You don't put your hands on a woman. You just don't. Period. So that's all I can say as far as that.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I have 4 sisters, and I've had to throw hands because of things that men did
Absolutely. Absolutely.
involving
No
family.
reason ever.
Before we have a guest queued up backstage, Dylan, who's joined us before. Before I bring Dylan up, however, I want to make sure Dylan goes like, no, here goes the show. The show just went to shit. Dylan came on and the show went to shit. We don't think that way, but anyways.
I love
Robin,
Dylan. He knows
before
that.
I know. Before he comes up, do you have anything you want to add? Because I realize that this could quickly get dominated and nobody else would. Not that Dylan is. Don't get me wrong, but we'll go Idaho 4 and it's going to go.
Dylan the Dominator. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
just
you had
kidding.
something. Yeah.
No, I do actually. This is something I was so glad to see that JJ was able to make it tonight, because I think you guys will all get a kick out of this. So let me put it backstage here real quick.
Ooh, it's a visual.
We like to have a snack in the evening after this stream, and we often have crackers and cheese. I know how that sounds, but I'll let me just put it backstage. Where is it? Where did it go? Oh, don't tell me. Where are my? Go ahead and keep talking, guys. I have to find...
Oh yeah, we're all waiting. Anticipation. All right, so yeah, we'll bring Dylan up in a second. Looks like you got the asset loaded, so we're gonna put your asset.
I have one loaded. So
oops, hold on.
Okay, so we opened up a new box of crackers last night, and this is just the Dollar General brand, okay? But we found this slip of paper in the box.
Oh wow!
Now here's what this says. It talks about the CIA and secret societies, Skull and Bone.
I put that in.
Damn it,
Robin.
JJ. Damn it, JJ.
See? I knew it.
Tell your CIA friends to back the fuck off. Robin is not going to be intimidated by that shit. That was in your box of rounds?
It was in the box of crackers. S was
Wait
like,
a minute.
What is this? She thought it was some kind of a coupon or something, but Dollar General doesn't really do that. So we're like, what the fuck is this piece of paper?
I get around, Robin.
Tongue out.
My people are everywhere.
Whoa.
I'm telling you. Druids,
there's some shit in there.
And I don't even
vampires.
know.
We need one of those.
You know what?
In there.
That was one of the things that was, I guess it was copied and put into the Pullman PD documents when they released some of their documents. They released things with their emails that were just everything. That I remember seeing that. All of that like meshed together in one of their emails. So they must have put that out for somebody must have put that out for some reason. Yeah, that's wild.
Stand by.
Yeah, so we had to save it, and I just had to do a little show and tell, because we're like, why? What? And we had 2 boxes, so we opened up the other box just to see if there wasn't. This was the only so somebody at the factory, I guess, stuck it in there for some reason. I don't know.
Giving you a heads up.
I thought that was pretty interesting. So
that is wild.
Yeah, that's my side business, by the way. I didn't tell you guys about that. I have a little printing press, and I send out my stuff to my operatives that work in factories.
Makes sense.
Definitely. Someone wants me to read it all. Well, it's a lot. So it talks about secret societies.
I think they're all linked.
No, it's just from my phone. I just took a picture of it on my phone. I'll put it in Discord.
I did a search on AI to see if it recognizes this as some kind of like common prank or whatever, and they don't recognize it as a common prank, but they did say that it most certainly was put in the box by somebody after it was in a factory or whatever. It didn't come from the factory. Somebody slipped in a note of conspiracy terms and symbols into the. But why would you do that? Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
They covered just about everything.
Yeah,
I
they did.
know. It's they. I mean, that's what I mean. There's so many things. I'll put it in Discord so everybody can read it at their leisure. But I just had to show that because,
I
and the
had a
first
weird
thing we said was like, JJ has to see this.
I had a weird moment. I probably can't remember it exactly right, but I got quote unquote recruited by somebody to join the Illuminati. Like somebody had slipped a piece of paper onto like my car or something like that, and it said, you know, the Illuminati is watching you, and we'd like you to join. If interested, call this number. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, what,
Oh,
who does
wow.
that? Like,
Right. Thank you, Moto
Yeah.
Man, for that. Meg is the CIA, and Meg, thank you for. Meg said I knew the Dollar Tree was run by the CIA. Thank you both for the
Oh!
super chat.
All right, so we left Dylan chilling like a villain. We should probably bring him up. Are you ready to do this? Everybody,
Come
like,
on
take a
up.
deep fucking breath. This is gonna about go sideways. All right, hold on. What's up, dude?
Oh, you know, just about ready to grab the wheel and crank it to whatever direction I want to.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm
You're
ready.
you sound kind of out there, like soup can sounding, buddy.
Yeah.
This a little bit better.
Soup can.
No, you sound
Not
like
really.
I didn't go that way with it, Lee, but like you're in a bathroom or something, buddy. Garbage, you know.
Nope. Nope. I mean, you don't sound horrible, but you don't sound like last night.
You might
Sounds
have-
muffled.
Yeah, it's muffled.
Yeah.
You probably have to
Testes. 1, 2, 3. Testes.
Oh my! This mic got unplugged somehow.
Ah.
That
Thank
could
you,
be.
Carol.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
for this-
that's what it sounds like. It sounds like his audio source is defaulting to a
Yes.
different mic in a different location. So yeah, that's probably what
Yep.
happened. It got unplugged, and I had that happen one time. Just for a split second, my mic got unplugged. It flipped over to another mic that was open, and then I couldn't figure out when I plugged my mic back in why it wasn't working because it had switched audio sources. So I've been there, done that.
It
It's like
sounds
you-
like
you
Why the
heard
hell
it
does it
tur-
look like somebody's creepy standing right by my wife? Like, what the hell's going on in this other room?
the hell
like it
are
feels
you
like there's-
talking about?
It's like a specter sitting over her shoulder or something. It's bizarre.
It's
And
the
I'm on delay, so
Illuminati,
right now-
man. The Illuminati's
Ghost.
watching you.
I actually, this house is like that, so it is what it is. All right, we're waiting for Dylan to get his shit. Let's kick him out of the stage. Let's kick him out.
Come on,
out of the
Dillweed.
stage. And send him out the link again so that he can.
It sounded like his camera was picking up, and that's where his voice was going because mine does that too. So
Banned him from the studio, and if I ban him from the studio, he ain't getting back in here. So I guess I should kick him from the studio. I'm gonna kick his ass out of the studio.
Yeah. I
Oh.
put the link out again.
Aggressive.
I know. I love it. It's the only time I can be assertive. I mean, I'm not going to be assertive anywhere else. So this is it.
Can I make a public service announcement?
Oh,
Illuminati.
I like the way that's spelled. That's probably a good thing.
Illuminati.
The Illuminati. Oh, I can do it. And
Good
look at that.
job.
Naughty. Okay.
Impressive.
you did it.
All right. Anyways, I did an accent. Fantastic. So, what happened? Dylan hasn't come back. What do we got in Idaho 4 news? Do we have anything in Idaho 4 news? Do we have anything in any of our cases right now? It seems like it's been a slow day in the news cycle for me, but then again, I was out for a bit of the day, so not sure.
Nothing new.
I saw, I pulled up a little clip of the removing the body bags from, and I didn't watch enough to see if it gets any better, but you didn't. So you see body bags get removed. No, you don't. What I saw was a giant fucking black box. Like, that's what I saw. Yes, granted, I do believe they're lifting and there's heft to the bag, and I don't have any reason to believe that they're not bringing bodies out. But really, all I really saw was a giant black box. So, yeah.
So last night and today I have been watching body cams from a specific channel, and it's a really popular channel, but I watched about 3 or 4 different videos where you can literally see and hear officers being killed, and you can see it on their own body cam and the other officer's body cam, and they actually showed it to the point I was in tears. That's how awful it was. And I was like, why can other channels show this and get this type of body cam and see all the stuff in it, but we can't even
can't see
blood
Right.
in the Idaho case. We
Do you
can't
want me to
listen
answer
what
that?
they say about Jack B.
Because I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I can answer the question for you.
Of course, go ahead. Tell us all.
Because
what is the official CIA response on this?
Well, this is a much bigger operation that involved national security, and we've been fed horse shit about the case from day one. And just before I got on stream, I was on the Reddit, message boards for Idaho 4, and people are like, well, somebody mentioned they did a long diatribe basically repeating my theory about what happened in this case. And I commented underneath it because somebody said, well, why would he do that? He's good. Why would he agree to go to prison for a few years?
Right.
And I said,
right.
We were told he's in prison, and that was the whole purpose of the leaked images or whatever video or whatever it was. Oh, look at somebody leaked this to show him in prison. And I don't want to sound like an a-hole, but a lot of people don't understand how the operations actually work and how much resources are behind them. And so somebody who's a normie who's never researched any of that stuff would think that is the most crazy thing I've ever heard in my life.
Right.
And then you could spend 5 minutes just quickly telling them of all the operations that have been carried out and the extensive nature of them. So I think there was a federal operation involved in this case. And at the very least, if I'm being conservative, a cover-up, right? And a federal level cover-up. And they don't want to release too much visual evidence that may stir shit up and counter their narrative.
Well, think about something real quick. Why did they show us the picture of Brian in prison? Honestly.
Yeah. Right. I know.
Make us believe that he was in there.
The same reason they pulled him over twice to present him to everybody and say, look at the white Elantra. Look at this weird guy. That's my opinion on that aspect of the case. I think
we will bring Dylan up real shortly. It looks like he's got his mic situation sorted out. But I did want to say to Logan on that point, it is crazy that you can watch people getting killed, cops being killed, or whatever, on camera, and you can watch them die. But there's a law passed to make it illegal to look at crime scene photos in Idaho because somehow that's a problem. Like, why am I allowed to watch somebody actually be shot and killed, but I can't see the after effect of a murder? Makes no sense.
Exactly.
Other than it's a PR. They're just hiding shit in Idaho.
Can I just add one last thing to that?
Yeah.
One of the theories I presented on here a long time ago is that people tend to think, a lot of people anyway, all or nothing thinking. So like, there's no way 4 people were extracted. There's no way whatever, whether it be WITSEC or whatever. I had said on here a long time ago, it's not impossible that 1 or 2 or whatever people, less than the whole amount of the victims, was extracted. That shit went down earlier in the night. And
wait a minute. Jason Estes, did you get a voice changer and make yourself look like Joe?
Well, here's the thing. You can say WITSEC extraction, right? That's one angle that some people have. Yeah. However, I think we all believe the timeline is nonsense.
Right.
The timeline we were given is nonsense. Is it possible that 1 person or 2 people or whatever were killed in connection with trafficking things, and it took other people out? Now, I'm not saying that's what I strongly believe, but what I'm saying is it would explain why they never showed clearly bodies being removed. It would explain changing the timeline. It would explain a lot of things. And so I look at things based on logic. Yeah. And I don't go with anything that doesn't have a logical basis behind it. And it would also explain why we've been lied to so much about everything.
Thank you, Bianca, for the 10 gifted.
Yeah.
That is so
Very-
incredible.
Very, very awesome.
Congrats to all the new turtles for joining our turtle gang. Thank you, Bianca.
All right.
For
And I was
making our
just
turtle
teasing
gang
you about
grow.
the I was just teasing about the Estes thing. I
No,
thought it was kind
no,
of funny. I was like,
I
is he-
get
yeah.
it. I like, see, I reserve possibilities in my mind. I hold different ideas as
Right.
possibilities because you
Yeah.
can't think, well, this is possible, so that must be what happened. I don't think
Yeah.
of things that way. That's not how. And unless like I've said a million times, a whistleblower comes forward, we're never going to know the truth.
Yeah.
I don't believe we're ever going to know the truth unless a whistleblower comes forward. So the reason I brought that up is just all these other things. Like, why won't they show us this? Why won't they show us that? Why does it seem like, why it just seems like the way information was released was very strategic.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's bring Dylan up because Dylan hopefully has the microphone situation sorted out. Let's go on take 2.
It really helps when you turn the mic on.
It does. It does. So yeah, when it's lit up like now, it works a lot better.
This is what happens when Dago leaves me alone for too long.
You know why that happened, don't you, bud?
Why is that?
Why?
It's because of those weird clothes you wear that have like the G on it and all that.
Oh
other
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. The
That's
Patriots
why.
hat and the Yankees. And,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why that happens to you.
Some bad juju.
Well, it's because I didn't wear it. I got the Bears hat on. That's why it messed up.
The Bulls, the Bears, the Bulls, the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Anyway,
What's going on? What's on your mind tonight?
what's up, buddy?
So I was actually thinking because the whole thing with the coroner making the comments and everybody just being so chill, I don't care. And after what JJ said, it just doesn't add up, because even the heartless and the coldest people will walk out of that scene. You'd be able to tell they were a little shaken.
Yeah.
Even the hardest, especially in a small town.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it backstage to Dago when I was on. It was like, something's not adding up here. Like, are there actually 4 bodies in there? And yeah,
Well,
they can make it look like that, but so
it's funny you mentioned that, because one of the body cam footages in the early stages, when the body cam footage started to come out, I actually gave kind of the opposite view, which is that one of the officers that was going through, I felt you could hear him continually taking deep breaths, which was a sign of trying to calm his nerves and kind of deal with it. And he was always like, and he was struggling, I think. And I said, I hear genuine sounds of struggle, like the guy's trying to keep his shit together. And other people agreed, but I had some people saying, yeah, because he knows how to do acting. And I'm like, so he's paid actor that's going in to do it in the house. Like, it seemed like it was a genuine stress release, but
Some of that could be from the smell.
That's
too.
true.
That's
But
another
again,
part, 'cause
either
I know
one
I've done
suggests an
that.
actual right. But either one suggests a dead body, either from the smell or from the stress, as opposed to a just staged crime scene. But I don't know.
I've never doubted. I'm kind of glad this got brought up tonight, because I told you, I was reading back through some old Reddit postings and some other stuff on some old stuff with this. And it's interesting because, and I didn't even know this. Did you guys know that the Gonsalves family challenged the fact that Brett Payne was brought in as the lead investigator due to his lack of credentials on this?
No,
I didn't know that.
didn't know
What do you
that
mean
either.
challenged it? Like in the court or just
No. Like they were
Oh.
trying to get. They were like
voicing their objection to it.
voicing their
within-
objection
yeah.
to the fact that he
Okay.
didn't have what they believed to be the right credentials to be in charge of the case. And they tried to, from what I read, they tried to reach out to have that proof shown, and they rejected him because it's privacy. You know, I get that too. That's not their right to do that either. But I see why they did. You know, they wanted a true investigator on this, but they had questions about the investigators, it seems, back then.
I do know. I can't remember if I talked about this on the show, but I do know that I was surprised to find out several of the families, not all of them, but I think the Gonsalveses are one of them, filed a notice. How do they word it? In the early stages of this, they filed a notice of possible intent to sue Moscow Police Department very early. And what it was is it's an Idaho state rule that says you have to notify them within 180 days of an incident that you think that they did wrong, that you reserve the right to sue them. And they did that. Several families reserved the right to sue Moscow Police Department over the investigation. So that was interesting. Nothing came of it. They didn't ultimately sue them. I don't know if the option's still on the table now that well over the time limit's gone by now, and now they're in a WSU lawsuit. But anyways, if it was something new, a new infraction, a new discovered piece of withheld information, they certainly could reopen that suing lane.
There was a lot of questions about which I remember that as interesting, but a lot of questions about his capabilities. There were questions asked about other names brought up too, that somebody by the name of John Lawrence actually being the head of the investigative unit that was in charge of this, but also John Lawrence was also part of the Quad Cities Task Force from what it was stating. And did you know also that Bill Thompson was on the board to be part of the Quad Cities Task Force as well?
No.
I didn't either.
Wow.
Yeah. Big wow. But there was a lot of things I was looking back at that I had never seen before. People were wondering about Tyson Barrett, how he ended up being put there to begin with, and then recusing himself because, quote unquote, supposedly he knew two of the victims, or his kids did, or something like that. There's a lot of these little questions here that are driving me nuts now, that were brought out. That what's his name? Justin Deere was somebody else that was part of the task force that was in the background that I never even heard of this guy before. He's a police officer that have no clue who he is. But the OCDTF, that's what it was. That Bill Thompson was part of that, as well as this other person, Dallinger. We had just talked about his training that he went and got with the FBI, that he was part of this whole thing going on. There's other stuff in the background that we have no clue about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how does it relate to this is what my question is. And one of the big things that bugged me was that I had never heard this. Through everything I've heard all these rumors and crazy things that somebody had stated that at some point it was believed that the sheath was actually found underneath Ethan's body. Never heard that before. Never
heard that. No.
So, and then I'm reading through this. Okay. So the question is who put the sheath there and when? We were talking about this on my show earlier with Eddie. So I figured I'd bring it up in here today. When we watched Morris's body cam and we watched Brett Payne go in with Ashley the first time she goes in, there's no body cams. We don't see what they're doing in there. That's an issue for me. Okay.
Yeah.
It always has been. So they go in with, I think it's Talbot, Brett Payne, and Ashley Jennings, who was I questioned that, and I was told because she was the DA on call that night. Then Bill shows up. Okay. I didn't see Bill go in, but I see him come out. So I'm curious about that. And I'm curious about, a lot of people believe that Brett Payne is the one that may have placed this sheath where it was placed. Okay.
Right. Because the first pass, it wasn't found,
Exactly.
And it wasn't until he showed up that it was found. Right.
Nobody saw it. Nobody mentions it through anything that we see until Brett Payne shows up on scene after 5 p.m. that day.
Right.
I mean,
right.
You can't help to think about it.
Yeah, for sure. Did you see this question that's addressed to you?
I did not until now. Did you watch Lana's mock trial? I never caught in the body cam that he said Xana's door was closed. That's a problem for Dylan. Sorry if this was already brought. No, I didn't either. Holy shit. See?
I remember in the early stages, because it's been so long now, but I remember in the early stages, there was arguments about, wait a minute, is the door closed or the door open? Because at one point she said it was closed, and another point she said it was open.
We were told that by Christy Gonsalves that they had to call Hunter Johnson over to,
and he had to push the door open. Right.
Yeah.
So if he had to push the door open, then how did Dylan see her laying on the ground and thought she was just passed out? And right.
So who said that?
Right.
Jen, where did that come from? Exactly. So I can find it and watch it. Because that changes everything to me, because as I've been arguing with for years now, that I didn't believe that Hunter J said that on. Oh shit, I did not see that. Okay. Oh wow.
Well, that would make sense, right? Because is it Hunter's story that he had to shove the door open because the door was closed?
Yeah.
Or
right? So that's probably where that's coming from, is his statement that he had to shove the door open because the door was closed, which then begs the question, how does Dylan see her laying on the floor thinking she's passed out and hasn't moved for a while, and she's still passed out because the door is closed, or it had to be open?
Right. So who's telling the truth here?
Or did Dylan go back there and pull the door shut herself when she walked in and looked at Xana in the room?
Or if I'm playing devil's advocates, here's something was unstable in the room. It was open for a while and then it fell over and shoved against the door, therefore mostly closing the door, and it had to be shoved back. Like something fell over. That would be the only explanation. It would give the explanation how Dylan can see the door open and describe what she sees with the door open, but Hunter's got a closed door that he has to push something out of the way to get it open because something fell over and leaned up against the door. I don't know.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Didn't Hunter say that he had to push the door so hard because Ethan was up against it?
That's not what he said, but that's what Christy said.
That's what Chris. Oh, that's what Chris. That it was Ethan. So, yeah, because
can anybody get a fucking straight story?
Yeah.
Can
exactly
we get a straight story on this?
Well, we remember we watched the body cam footage where, I guess it was Lanier, where he said on the body cam footage, "Oh, I've got so and so back at the station working on a theory." You remember that?
Yeah.
How can you come up with a theory before you've gathered all the information?
I'm just going to make up I mean, part of it's human nature. You see a crime scene, you're immediately starting to think, how did this happen? You're going to be thinking that question. So maybe somebody's go, I got a theory on how it happened without any suspect whatsoever. Because you're probably starting to piece it together. Like, how did that person get in that position?
But you're having people back at the station. They're not on the crime scene.
That's true.
They're coming up with a theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. That would be a problem. If people who hadn't even seen the crime scene are formulating ideas on how it happened. Well, let's see. Our confidential informant got killed, and I know this piece of information. So now I'm coming up with a theory on what happened.
What is yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say it's the world's most twisted game of telephone.
Yeah.
Lying.
Yeah.
What you made a face, Logan. Is there something that you got brewing about all this, or no? Okay, I was just wondering.
I've heard. I think we've all heard all of this before, and kind of went back and forth about this a long time ago, right?
Right.
Well, yeah, but now Hunter says this on the body cam. I never heard that.
What bothers me is how many versions of the story on almost everything there are. For example, another one I remember. Murphy was on the bed. The door was closed to Bethany's room, or it was open. Murphy was in a crate. Murphy was under the table where the fuck was Murphy? It depends on which person you ask where the dog was in the first place, whether the door was open or closed and running free, or whether it wasn't running free.
One of the cops said he was on the bed, and the report said it, but then in the photograph we see him under the desk. So
right.
And in Howard Bloom's book, he talks about the dog cowering underneath the desk. So does that mean he couldn't have been on the bed at one point and then cowered under the desk when he saw a bunch of armed policemen walking around the house? I guess he could have done that. But
right. It's all insane, and they've used every aspect of that to continue their narrative the way they have. They know that it's confusing. They know that everything they give us is going to confuse us even more and make us ask more questions and run in circles, chasing our tails because we're not getting the truth. Somebody sent me a comment today that said something about Occam's razor. I'm going to read this comment to you. You guys tell me what you think. If I can get back to it. Hold on here.
Occam's razor is often overused in the wrong way, but
definitely.
Yeah, like the simplest explanation with the least assumptions is usually the correct one.
Right.
Oh, shit.
But a lot of people use that.
Yeah, definitely.
They abuse it. Yeah.
Yeah, to support their idea. And I would argue that the story we've been given is the most convoluted piece of horse shit that I've ever heard. So Occam's razor doesn't apply to, oh, he pled guilty, so he had
Right.
to be the one. You could say that in that case, but you'd have to look at all the other information too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Thanks for who got the donation. That was one of your guys' channels there from Motomax.
There you go.
Thank you, Moto. It says it makes you wonder who was there. Was there anyone actually there? Yeah, that's a good point, Moto. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Number 4 out of 5 towards our goal tonight. That's
Aw.
amazing. One more, guys, and we hit the goal. Thank you so much, brother. Very much amazing. I can't find the comment, but it was an interesting comment. They referred to the Occam's razor based on other things they said. I can't find it right now. I don't know why I can't get back to that. It was from earlier, but it was interesting. It was relating to, like I told you, the John Lawrence being the head of the detectives or the head of investigative unit and all this other stuff, and it made me think about some things. So when I can find it, I will bring it to you guys. There's a lot of questions that I pulled out of what I read today myself that I'm going to be looking more into. So at some point, I will definitely.
There you go.
Out there.
There you go,
Aw.
buddy.
That's so cool.
Thank you, Meg. You guys got confetti. Very cool, Meg. You're a sweetheart. Thank you so much for that, and God bless. We hit the go. Very cool. Very cool.
All right, Dylan, did we stomp all over you? Did you have another comment or question, or seems like we all talked all over you?
Y'all's show. I'm just here for kicks and giggles. But
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I try to go with Occam's razor when trying to piece these together.
Yeah.
The problem is, in this type of case, you cannot have the least amount of speculation.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows what could have happened. All we know, there could have been 4 little green guys that went in and just raided the house coming from a saucer.
Yeah.
But like I said the other night, the 2 things that I'm fairly sure of is Kaylee was the first one surprised, and Ethan was the first one surprised. And it had to have been dang near simultaneously. And because in both instances, you have somebody well within view who would have screamed their head off the moment it started, causing everybody to gather in.
Yeah.
Either gather in or run out. And as far as Murphy goes, the thing about him just barking his head off, you would think that as soon as he hears unfamiliar sound coming up the steps, he would go off, regardless what kind of night it was for him. He would have gone off if he is the kind of dog that we are led to believe that he is. Because as soon as they start walking in the house with the boots, he's going to be alerted by that. Them coming up the stairs, he's going to be alerted by that. He's going to start barking, and yet he never does.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody, I kind of, we do this a lot, but somebody says Occam's razor in Idaho 4 is Jack D.
For the most part, yeah.
Right, because it would be the most the one that has the most obvious potential motive. But
well, then with the CI angle,
yes,
with that, in light of that, the Occam's razor would be somebody got wind that there was a CI and the people that were at risk.
Yeah. That's pretty simple too. I mean, snitches get stitches. And if they know somebody's working with the police and ratting on their operation and it's costing them money, somebody's going to get payback for that. And potentially in a brutal way to send a message.
What's funny is that's what Kim, WSU mom Kim, said from day one. She's always been in that ring with that whole snitches get stitches thing, and that was before we even knew there was a CI involved. So
The
I
only
mean,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry about
Dylan, go
that.
ahead. Yeah, let's let Dylan get it, and I'll. Yeah.
My problem with that, if it was on that sort of revenge, there wouldn't be anybody in the house to tell the story, which goes back to another theory that I have, that at least Dylan wasn't even at the house.
Well, it's a good point you bring up. Like I don't know that I 100% agree with you that there wouldn't, because again, if Dylan was related to the people who are sending the message, then they wouldn't hurt her. So I don't know that her being alive means that she couldn't have been there. Again, she could have known who did it. The other problem I had though is some people say, like, if you take the cartel angle, well, they'll say, well, the cartel wants to, in order to send a message, you don't pin it on some Joe Schmuck somewhere and make it not look like it. You want everybody to know who killed him. You got killed because you snitched, and everyone needs to fucking know why it happened. So if you were doing it for a sending a message thing, would you blame it on some poor schmuck or let it go down that way? If you wanted to send a message, wouldn't you want the message to be out there? This is what happens to people who try to mess with our business. Like, so the question is, would it go down that way if it was a retaliation hit?
Well, it would depend on who received that message, who was that message
Correct.
sent to, and was it received? Because we can be looking at it as a frat boy, a bunch of frats coming in and doing damage, all that jazz, but everybody in the town knows exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So it could be that sort of disconnect.
And you're right. Like right, you're right. The message could have been already sent to the right person, and they know, like somebody who knows damn well why the house got hit, they got the message. Everybody else can believe whatever the hell they want, but the person that needed the message may have gotten the message. So
thank you, Jen, for the $4.99 super sticker, super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And again, with the trafficking angle that we've all talked about in many different ways, I think it's scary to think that the government was involved in really nefarious things, but historically the government does do nefarious things if it forwards their given agenda, and so this is irrefutable. This is not conspiracy theory. This is irrefutable fact. There's been countless books written about it. It's been reported on. So the cover-up angle, to me, has always been shady, because if you're telling the truth and this is what happened, and then you wouldn't need to feed nonsense stories to the public that don't add up, that get disproven with the more information that comes out. The timeline, they were all sleeping. Now, what you guys just spoke about, the door was closed, on and on and on. We could probably list 100 things that turned out to be incorrect. Well, a lot of people would say, oh, there's no way there could be this like big operation involved. There's no way. There's like, it would leak, it would come out. It was like, well, it's done all the time. It's done all the time on very large scale levels. So I don't even want to go to that place, but of what are some possibilities are. But I just think that when you look at true crime, and I talked about this with Kristen and Ron, people look at true crime, they tend to frame it through a true crime lens. Like, this crazy crime happened. Look, here's the evidence. This was the weapon, what we believe was the weapon. This is the guy. This is the suspect. They follow a path of what a typical case would follow when you're following a case. But that's not the way things always are when there's bigger things involved. When bigger things are involved, you have to look at things beyond the true crime lens, which is what I always try to do.
I want to share a story. I know you know this, Joe, but I want to share it for your type of thinking. And I'll give just the bullet points. It's a few bullet points. Whitey Bulger was a famous case in which the FBI let a hitman get away with murder and helped cover up his murders while he worked with them as a CI, and even helped prosecute innocent people for his murders to keep their CI on the take. So and if you don't think that's true, it's been written about in books by Judge Napoleano or whatever his name is that used to be on TV.
Absolutely true.
A famous thing. And so the government will protect their own CIs and even have gone to the lengths of framing innocent people for things they know that they didn't do to protect their murderous fucking serial killer mobster that was on the take or on the CI list.
Facts are facts. That is an absolute truth, folks. Everything about that is true. Go watch that, read that story, watch the movie about it. It's all based on true fact.
Crazy shit.
Right. And the angle which I still believe very strongly, BK would be the perfect guy to be a patsy, whether unwitting or witting. We've all heard the Gretchen Whitmer story about, they basically they incentivize people to carry out crimes so they can pin it on a certain angle or a certain group or whatever, or put out a certain narrative. And so whether BK was working with the feds, like directly, like he was working as part of whatever multi-agency operation was going on, or he was coaxed into getting involved in things and didn't know the implications of those things. Now, the reason why I don't think that is the more likely scenario is because might he have leaked information to somebody that was the case, that he was brought in and then basically framed. I tend to think when operations are involved, they often have peripheral people involved in those operations. In the case of BK, I still believe that he was working in some way, shape, or form as part of the operations that were already going on in that area, and that's why he ended up in that area and at that program.
Yep. Well said. Well said. Like mic drop. Just go ahead and drop the mic.
Right, but I can't. The thing is, I could make up a totally alternative version of that, right? But I'm going with something that I'll never be able to prove and will probably never come out. And maybe in 50 years when shit gets declassified, it would come out. So I could shift my narrative to what I believe, to something that's more plausible, that we can look at documents and say, oh, look, this happened, that happened, right? But everything about certain cases, which tend to be the ones that I follow, when they have a fingerprint of an operation on them, I can't ignore that.
Good point.
Everybody left you hanging there.
Well, I'm not gonna change my story just because it's gonna be repeating the same thing. I'm not gonna change my narrative. This is what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. It does make sense.
And I think it's also interesting to note that when it comes to complex setups like that, usually it's every third generation that gets it, every third to fourth generation who's able to do it so well that it doesn't get caught. And we're kind of in that cycle right now of where it's we got a bunch of morons running the show. And that's why it's done so horribly and so egregiously that we're able to pick up on it so easily. We're able to point at that and say that doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense, that doesn't make sense. Because I can almost guarantee you, because if you notice, like all of the stuff that hits the fan, it's about a 40-year cycle.
Yeah.
So
I never thought of it in cycles, but yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those good times make weak men make hard times, and
Yeah, and then hard
times
times make strong men.
Yep.
I
it's
think the
that
reason
cycle.
why it happens in cycles, Dylan, is because what happens is the power structure gets emboldened when they're able to carry out large scale operations. They get emboldened, and what's happened is we've reached a point in history now where the power structure has been so emboldened because of all the corruption. They don't account for the fact that there is a whole segment of the population that does not follow the mainstream narrative, that will pick apart their loose narratives and their faulty narratives, because they in the past they were able to just use the mainstream media as their mouthpiece to push whatever narrative they wanted, and so they were emboldened by it, so they get sloppy.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when you go through from generation to generation, well, the grandkids of the person that built the big overbearing empire, well, you see it collapse because the grandkids or the great grandkids, they weren't around for the rough times, and we're seeing that in play.
Agreed.
Well, what other topic do we have for the last like 20 minutes or 30 minutes that you want to talk about?
Let's talk about the cracker box. I think I didn't want to say this on the stream. I'm sorry, but I have to disclose it. I wanted to recruit you, and I thought that would be the least conspicuous way to do it in code.
Ah, I see. Well, I'm going to tell you, I would probably be the worst CIA agent in history.
Oh man,
because I'm not sure how to keep my mouth shut sometimes when emotions override. I'd just be like, you know what? So they wouldn't know what to do with me. Like really.
Well, you're not a sociopath, so you wouldn't get recruited.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
They
So
love
you can't recruit me.
sociopaths
Yeah.
in the agency.
Nope.
I'll
Nope.
just say this last thing for everybody. Kind of if you're music fans or whatever, I probably mentioned it, but Stuart Copeland, the drummer from The Police, one of the biggest bands of all time, his father was a high-level CIA officer, right after the transition from the OSS to the CIA. His father was not just a paper pusher. He was a station chief in the Middle East. So, yeah, that's my manifesto, man. Guys, was it that obvious? But Stuart Copeland did a audiobook series called My Dad the Spy. And in it, they talk about the recruiting methods and things like that. And he openly talks about, and many people have, that his father was Miles Copeland, and that he was pretty unscrupulous guy and charming guy, all these things, smart guy, but unscrupulous. That is the type of people they get for operations, the operations part of the CIA. By every account, any book you read about it points to that. They kind of want that questionable type person with questionable ethics.
Yeah, I would say I would say the government recruits certain people who have questionable ethics to do certain things that take people that have questionable ethics. So, I know that I think Logan has some, maybe, did you have time to put together some kind of quick and dirty headlines from things that are on other cases, or did you get time to do that today?
I do have a couple that I can run down real quick.
Yeah, let's take a brief intermission and do that. Like, we now pause for this intermission.
So the down and dirty crime update of the day is this says the Savannah Soto and Matthew Guerra murder trial in San Antonio, Texas is on day 6 of the trial. Testimony continued in the case against Christopher Picado, who is accused of killing 18-year-old
Mercado.
pregnant Savannah Soto and Matthew Guerra in December of 2023. Defense attempts to claim self-defense are being contested by prosecutors using evidence found on phones.
I covered that case. I remember that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that as well. I didn't get super deep into it, but yeah, I remember when they were trying to figure out what happened, and it was just really sad.
His dad, the kid's dad was involved and everything. That was wild. I remember that now.
Weren't they like looking for them in their and
Yeah.
found them in their vehicles?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very sad. Very sad
Was
situation.
their vehicle found on the side of the road somewhere?
It was behind an apartment complex.
Oh, that's where it was. Okay.
Yeah. And then just the whole, I forgot all about that case. It's sad. It took this long to get this to come to trial too. That's crazy shit. But yeah, the Picado, his father was there with him, and I think their mother was even in the truck when they were doing the cleaning up of the situation, moving the vehicle, and all sorts of crazy stuff. It's nuts. The whole thing is crazy. There's no way in hell it was self-defense, in my opinion. Just saying.
No.
No way.
Georgia woman granted $1 bond in feticide case. Alexia Moore, accused of using pills to induce an illegal abortion, was granted a $1 bond for the murder charge by a Superior Court judge who described the charge as extremely problematic and difficult to convict. Interesting.
Wow.
That's crazy.
An MS-13 gang member was sentenced to 75 years in Silver Springs, Maryland. Jonathan Leon Chacon was sentenced to 75 years in prison for his role as a getaway driver in a November 9th of 2022 shooting that killed 19-year-old Williams Anderson Alberto Cruz and injured 2 others. In Oklahoma toddler accidental shooting, police are reviewing charges against Jesus Lopez, who was booked on a first-degree murder complaint following the death of a 2-year-old child in an accidental shooting inside an apartment on March 22nd of this year. Evansville homicide investigation. Police are investigating a homicide that occurred in the afternoon on March 24th of this year on Kimber Lane, where an adult male was found on a sidewalk with fatal gunshot wounds. It says in the Kentucky judge impeachment updates, further details emerged in the impeachment case of Judge Julie Goodman, with hearings set for March 27th involving cases that have highlighted tensions in the local judicial system. And it says upcoming trial watch for the year of 2026. Watch for the trial of Rex Heuermann, Luigi Mangione, Virginia versus Brendan Banfield, charged in the deaths of his wife and Joseph Ryan. And that's what I have for our dirty crime updates of the day.
Wow. I have one myself, and Dago and I were talking about it backstage.
The ethyl glycol scenario.
Yes,
yeah.
And I looked it up because the latest update is in 2025. Just last year, her convictions were formally quashed in 2000. So the basics of it was a woman by an Australian, I think she was an Australian woman. Kathleen Folbig is her name.
I think so.
She was convicted of murdering 4 of her children by giving them antifreeze to drink. But they didn't have physical evidence. They inside the children's bodies, they found high levels of the methylethylamine that was in antifreeze. At one point, even when they were under suspicion, she brought like a bottle for one of her infants, and it died. And she was feeding them the bottle, so they assumed, oh, she must have put antifreeze in the children's bottle as well. But they didn't find any evidence. And it turned out after 20 years in prison, they found out the woman's body, it was a rare condition that produced that chemical and was killing her own kids. And it was just a rare condition that her body did it. And she got her conviction quashed just last year after 20 years in prison for murdering her children. And it was completely just a freak biological accident.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is insane.
And the
Yeah.
the story,
tragic.
very tragic.
Yes.
Yeah, the story is crazy because I think it was her second child. The way the movie portrayed it, they made a movie about it, but the way the movie portrayed it was her second child had been taken upon birth because the first child had died, and she was there seeing the child at like the Children's Services Board. Again, the bottle that Lee's talking about, fed the baby with the bottle, and it was from her own breast milk, of course,
Right.
and boom, the baby got sick within 3-4 days. Luckily, that baby, I think that one survived, if I'm correct. At that point, it did. Okay, something like that. I can't remember the way they put it out there, but yeah. But then, ongoing, and the weird part of it was her defense was not going to use that whole like, look, my first child died from this, and then this and that, and she had been looking into the disease itself after the second child got sick. At some point, they would never allow for that. That's part of the problem there. The courts wouldn't allow for that to be looked into, to be talked about, or anything and brought up. Which is what I think why she spent so long in prison. But at some point, they
Yeah.
finally proved it. It's crazy as hell.
Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
had a question for you guys. Did you guys follow the Oscar Pistorius case?
Yes, I did.
That was a pretty crazy case, man. That case, I had followed it from fairly early on because I knew who he was from track and field. And that story to me still seems sketch,
Yeah.
right?
I think it was on purpose.
Yeah. It's just weird. There was that documentary, right? I don't know if it was Netflix, maybe. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Is that the
I'm not
one?
sure.
Was it Netflix?
What was her name? Steen Camp.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I think I did see that.
Yeah,
There was
and
a
it was on Netflix.
documentary.
You're right.
That's where I think I seen it at. Yeah,
It was
Yeah,
pretty.
Netflix.
It was pretty riveting, right? Because the way that the evidence was presented, and the stories, and the neighbors, what they heard, and what they believed, and then you heard there were peripheral things. That's a case that is really interesting because, in my opinion, they never really exposed the truth of what happened. They only did on a certain level. DA, are you familiar with that case?
I'm not familiar
That's
with that case.
the
Yeah.
Olympic runner who had the blades. He was
Oh yeah. Right.
he was an amputee from the knees
Right.
down, and he
Right.
was like a world champion para Olympian,
Mm-hmm.
and he even was able to compete with able-bodied people at the highest level. And so he was like, anybody who followed track and field, he was like this hero.
Yep.
And then that crazy story came out.
there he is.
Yeah. They called him Blade Runner.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The Blade Runner.
Yeah, that would
And-
be him. Crazy story too.
It is a
very wild.
crazy story, man. Really crazy. So I'd encourage anybody who hasn't seen the documentary. It's either Netflix or Amazon. For some reason, I think
it was Netflix that I saw it, and the girl that was the woman that was murdered was a model, very pretty woman. It was a whole thing, and like I agree with you. I don't think the real deal truth has come out on that yet at all.
Because supposedly they had a real hot-blooded kind of relationship.
Mhm.
Hot-blooded.
And he shot, the bathroom door was shut. She was in the bathroom, and he shot through the bathroom door
Right.
inward into the bathroom, trying to say he thought it was an intruder.
An intruder.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
freaking-
It's wild.
You get up, she's not in the bed, right? She's staying, she's staying over. And it was just, I never bought the official story at all.
No.
You would think
Why
you
would the intruder go to the bathroom?
Right.
All right,
or
real quick. Oh, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Why
and
would
then I'm
you
gonna-
not ask like who's in there before you
Right.
freaking shoot a
Yeah.
gun in there?
Bingo.
Right.
Well, I remember bits and pieces because of this, and if I remember correctly, it was in like Brazil, Chile, somewhere South American.
South
South
Africa.
Africa.
Okay, South Africa. So, from what I remember, it was like not the safest place to be, and so it could very well have been one
Good
of
point,
those
Busy.
where it's just one of those
Good point.
you shoot first, ask questions later.
But they were in a wealthy little enclave.
Yeah, it was a pretty it was probably like the best part of that area.
Yeah.
Where they
Yeah,
were at.
there's crime everywhere, but like where they were was like if they show it in the documentary. I mean, it's like very nice, very, very high end
Yeah.
housing. Wasn't it a gated community?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, the reason why I highly recommend that documentary is because you'll hear different sides of it, and based on logic and what I have heard over time about that case, it sounds like they had a very impassioned relationship. Let's just say that.
Good
And
word.
he was like this national hero athlete, and she's this gorgeous model who got a lot of attention from men, including wealthy men. And so, the guy, and then there's an angle that I don't know if they really touched on it in the documentary. I can't remember, but he was on steroids. Many athletes are. It's very, very common. So then you have the roid rage angle,
Right.
as well. But anyway, I recommend people check that case out.
All right. What I would like to do as we're getting closer to the back end of our show is give a chance for our guest, Dylan, who's been patiently hanging out and listening to us yammer about everything other than probably what he came here to talk about, to give another parting question or thought. Otherwise, we'll wrap up. You got anything you want to share?
Well, I'm just here so I don't get fined, but that's beside the point. But
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to touch back on just kind of like the vibe from the body cams that came out last week,
Yeah.
and just how nonchalant, how jokative it was.
Yeah.
And I've seen people on TikTok, a CSI, former CSI, whatever, comes out and defends Mabbott, and some lawyer comes out and defends Mabbott, and I'm sitting there and like I can understand a little bit if it was like a place where that kind of stuff happens all the time. I could see a little.
I'm glad you're going there. Yeah, I'm glad you're going there.
Or it was one, but the last time anybody look up the last time they had a murder in Latah County before the 4?
Yeah, it was
there was several. Hannah Cleary, was she in that same Latah County? And
she was a suicide.
She was a suicide.
Murder.
Right. Oh, so you're talking, okay. Well, okay. How about, because that is an alleged suicide that some people think is murder, and so was the young kid that drowned in the water that they said was an accident that also could be. So official murder, I don't know.
It was Molly McMichael's husband, wasn't it?
2000
Nisbet.
Yeah.
2015. I didn't look into that case. I just know the year.
It was Molly McMichael's husband, the DoorDash driver.
Michael Nisbet.
There you go.
Or that was the case. Yeah, yeah.
So and
that was the Bill Thompson case.
Yep.
Surprise.
Of course. So the thing with them saying it's just something that happens. There's dark humor all the time, yada yada yada, and I'm saying no, this isn't a normal case. This isn't a normal day. I mean,
well, and the reason why I said I like that you brought it up is because on the one hand, people have excused all this time all of the piss poor things they did wrong in the investigation with, well, it's a small town. They're not used to anything like that. Nothing like that's ever happened. They were woefully unprepared for that kind of crime scene. And then, like you're saying, then why are some people so calm as a cucumber, like this is an everyday run-of-the-mill kind of thing that happens in Moscow? Like you can't explain it away both ways, like, oh, this is just they're just used to dealing with that kind of thing.
Right.
But a minute ago, the same people will be telling you, well, they've never seen anything like this, and they were completely unprepared for it. Like, which one is it? They're calm as a cucumber because it's an everyday run-of-the-mill thing, or they've never seen anything like this before?
Yeah, also don't forget that those are the things that are logged that we know about. There's other shit that's happened there that was never logged in my opinion, that we don't know about that has happened in that town. Just saying.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Why would there be a multi-agency task force in a town where nothing ever happens in Moscow?
And why is Bill Thompson on that task force? Just a question is all I'm saying. Thank you so much, Bianca, for that.
Fuckery.
And September Virgo, welcome to the sauce. Another new meatball. Bianca, you're an angel. Thank you so much, son. Still, again, I'm that's been my, it looks like typically unique. Miss Kim over there is looking into it too. My focus over the past 24 hours has been this task force. I'm looking into it deeply now, because I have a lot of questions about it now. So
in a moment of educating us all in complete tangent fuckery, I said calm as a cucumber. It's actually cool as a cucumber. But I was trying to figure out where the hell did the phrase cool as a cucumber come from? Did you know that the inside of a cucumber is significantly cooler than the surrounding air around it?
Cartoon.
Did you know that?
No.
I thank you very much.
Nope.
I'm here to educate all day long.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the gifted membership, Bianca. We appreciate that very much.
All right, Dylan, thanks for joining us again. I think we're going to wrap up with the panel at this point. It was great having you. Thank you again, and we'll see you probably some other time, I'm sure.
Yep.
Probably tomorrow at my place.
Thanks, Dylan.
Yeah.
Take care, Dylan.
Tomorrow at Dad's place.
Yep. See you later, buddy.
All right. Let's go around the horn with some close for this evening. It was all over the place, but that's the way we do it lately. We just kind of go with the flow and see what happens. So it works for me.
I liked it.
Yeah. We'll go JJ, Logan, Dago, Robin, and myself. So JJ, you get first close. What do you got?
Oh yeah, I didn't get to make my public service announcement earlier.
Oh.
Everybody, make sure you volunteer your DNA to Othram Labs to make us all safer.
Get him off the panel. Get him off the panel.
Oh,
everybody, just go out and volunteer your DNA to Othram Labs.
Let me add this. All shitting aside, hold tight. I'm going to leave you full screen for those with 85-inch screens that are like, God, that damn handsome devil. I'd leave him at his ass on screen. I want to say this. CrimeCon's coming up at the end of May, CrimeCon 2026 in Las Vegas. Las Vegas has lots of things to do other than CrimeCon. I've literally got JJ on the bubble on whether or not he's going to go to CrimeCon or not. And he was like, why can't other people join us at CrimeCon and make it an event? So again, I wanted to say, I'm not going to beg because I don't do beg. I'm not going to beg you to go. But even if you don't want to go to CrimeCon, which you could still get tickets for CrimeCon, even if that's not your gig, Vegas has other things to do. Come out and hang out in Vegas with us. Tell us you're going to hang out with Vegas with us. And maybe JJ, State of the Deep, will join you. And we can meet JJ and myself. And by the way, Ali Benevento is supposed to be there. The Custody Queens and Ron from their team should be there. A lot of us that have gone on YouTube together will be there. So come join us. And more importantly, let us know so that we can get JJ to say, hey, man, the whole thing is happening. We got to make it happen.
Right. And because, sorry, go ahead, Diego.
It's all right. My wife was actually taking into consideration us going this year too. So
nice.
We may be able to make it this year, you guys. And if that's the case, you got to come and see me. Come on now.
Right. How can you not?
Well, I told you guys, I had originally, we all talked about it on stream. Let's create our own little event.
Right.
And, and you know, for me, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to Austin in June, and I really can't do both. So if there's a crew and we're going to do something like that, a meetup, an event, whatever, then I would scrap the Austin thing. And I would go to Vegas for sure. Cause I told DA, and I'm not really that into the mainstream true crime stuff.
Right.
I mean, I went to one event last year, Othram, I was there to hang with DA, and we talked shit for hours about a bunch of different things, and that's how I ended up here. But yeah, what happens in Vegas does stay in Vegas. I've heard that.
Yeah, except for syphilis, that comes back with you.
Can I? All right. In closing, I made my public service announcement. Can I give a quick Vegas story?
Yeah, go for it.
To wrap it up.
Why not?
When I was a much younger lad, I lived in California for a brief time for 1 year. And there was a short period of time where I didn't know anybody out there. I was in between places to live, and I was a waiter. I was waiting tables, playing a little bit of music. Didn't have any money. That I hosted an open mic that was really busy, and there was a hostel right across from the open mic. And the people who worked at the hostel always came in to the open mic, and I was losing a place to live, basically, because the couple I was living with was breaking up, and I couldn't afford the place by myself. So the hostel people said, "Don't worry, you could stay with us. You could come stay at the hostel. We'll get you in there." So I was living at a hostel in California, and it was like all foreigners and me. And they had a shuttle service that went to all the different hostels in different parts of LA, and then they would go to Vegas, and they had a hostel in Vegas. It was like a network of hostels. And the guy who drove the shuttle was this guy from Liverpool. He was one of the funniest human beings I ever met. And we became friends. And one night we were hanging out with these Australian girls. They had to fly out the next morning. And so we went out with them that night, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to have to leave soon because we have to be up at like 4 a.m. because we have to get a ride to the airport." And the Liverpool guy said, "Don't worry, I'll take you. I'm the shuttle driver. I'll take you to the airport." He said that to get them to hang out. Right. So we ended up hanging out all night with these two Aussie girls. And in the morning, he had to go and pick up people from the other hostels and go to Vegas. Well, I fell asleep on the shuttle, and I ended up in Vegas, and I had to work that night. So I had to make a choice. Do I call my boss and tell him, "Oh, by the way, I can't make it to work because I'm in Vegas"? So I had to make up some BS story. I was sick and everything. Because if you add Vegas to any story,
they're like, "Oh yeah, whatever." Yeah.
Your credibility goes right out the window. I literally woke up in the middle of the desert. They didn't know I was there because I was in the back seat laying down. It was one of those Econoline vans. So nobody even knew that I was back there. And I woke up in the middle of the desert, and that was how I ended up in Vegas for the first time.
Nice. Nice. Well, hopefully we can be in Vegas again. And by the way, Logan mentioned a burrito place at Caesar's Palace. The actual Crime Con is at Caesar's Palace. We got a room at Caesar's Palace for this event. So tell me about the burrito place I got to go check out.
All my family lives in Vegas, so I could actually stay there for free, but I am paper poor, so I cannot go. There's inside
Get your
Caesar's
GoFundMe.
Palace,
Come on.
inside Caesar's Palace, there's a bunch of food places, like their food court. There's a burrito place in there, and it's so good.
Huh. You don't remember the name of it? All right. Well, do your close. I'll figure out burritos in Caesar's Palace, and we'll, how many can there be? Probably is a few, but
I think there's just one in there.
Oh,
You'll
nice.
know. You'll know when you go there.
You'll know. It'll have the huge line.
Yeah, you'll know.
Yeah.
I just want to thank everybody for being here and always showing up for us. Thank you to everybody on panel for having me here. Thank you to mods. You guys are incredibly amazing. Thank you for all of the gifted and super chats and everything you guys sent over. Please don't forget that tomorrow I will have a very wonderfully smart, awesome, amazing expert on the show tomorrow. His resume is super thick. You do not want to miss it. It's in crime scene reconstruction, bloodstain pattern analysis expert, and so on and so forth. It'll be at 5:30 Central Time. Do not forget. And then I found some new information in the Idaho 4 case that I'll be sharing and putting together for you guys for our Friday live, but you don't want to miss tomorrow. So do something nice for yourself today. Be kind, but more importantly, be kind to your animals. Thanks for being here. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And everybody loves a thick resume. So, Dago, what do you got?
Thick. Thank you guys. Thank you all for joining us tonight again. God damn it.
I'm sorry. I got
Sorry.
a buddy. I can't even repeat his line. But anyways, just do it. Get out of here.
Moving on. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us tonight. As always, great conversation. Dylan, thank you for joining us, buddy. Appreciate you always enlightening us with your thoughts, feelings, and opinions. Awesome stuff. Great conversation, like I said, and I really enjoy these conversations when we don't really have anything planned and they just seem to come out perfect, guys. I love it every time. So thank you to our moderators. You guys are absolutely amazing. Again, my production manager, Mikey, Molly, the videographer, all of you do an amazing job in every channel. I'm dying here. I'm telling you.
I think you're blushing. I
can't talk. So thank you again to Ali, Logan, JJ, and Robin so much for having me here tonight so that we can have this conversation as always. And guys, don't forget to love yourselves and love each other. And please don't change a thing because you guys are the beautiful people. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you, Bianca, for the 5 turtles.
He's giving me the giggles.
5 more turtles.
That was so hard to get out. God damn it.
All right. Robin, how are you doing for close?
Well, how am I doing for close? Well, I'll tell you, everybody, please hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to all the channels. We appreciate your support very much. And just those 2 things alone go a long way. And we, whether you're here live or you're on the replay crew, we appreciate you just as much. We love you all. All our moderators on all 3 channels are just total rock stars. So thank you for all that you do. And like I said, make sure you subscribe to all 3 channels because we all have some excellent stuff coming up. So you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. And so I hope everyone has a wonderful night and that you don't find any strange crap in your food.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's crazy with that thing. I was hoping it was going to have a whole really cool story when I looked it up, but it was good enough. It was a good story, so I appreciate you sharing that with us. Bizarre. Like I still want to know the story of how that happened. Anyways, for me, I will say good night, everybody. Again, consider going to CrimeCon or just go to Vegas during the very end of May and hang out with us. Because again, like we didn't really explain it very well, but like JJ was saying, I thought if we piggybacked off of following CrimeCon and just got a group of us to follow it, we could hang out afterwards and start an alt CrimeCon, because CrimeCon's a very pro law enforcement, pro mainstream media type of event. So we can offer. Now, I tried to get on. I tried to, by the way, submit my name at CrimeCon to be a panelist to say, hey, let's have somebody on your panel that has another idea other than everybody's a fucking guilty person in this country. And we all clap about how he got the bad guy. How about have somebody give an alternate opinion? But they didn't invite me to CrimeCon. So fuck it. We'll do it ourselves. We'll have an after show and we'll hang out as a group and we'll start an alternate CrimeCon and then we can break away from them sometime in the future. That was kind of my pie in the sky dream, but it may never happen.
We can create our own corner.
We can create our own special corner of the world. All right. That's it for me. Thank you so much for coming. See you tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, same time, same channels, because you can watch us on 3 different channels at least right now. So same time, same channels. And we'll see you. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great one.
Good night, everybody.
Same thick channel.
Same thick. All right. I'm out.